Great. Well, this is Jessica Taylor. It is April 21st, 2023, and we are here in Christchurch, Virginia, interviewing for the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program. The project is the Tidewater Main Street Project. And who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
Ellen Beverly Johnson.
Wonderful. And when and where were you born?
Mill 6, right here.
Okay.
Not here, but just a few miles down the road.
Okay. And what were your parents' names and occupations?
Okay. My mother's name, well, I'll give it to you, Mr. and Mrs. Howard, James Howard Beverly.
And what was your mother's name?
Clarice Bells Beverly.
Okay. And did you have any siblings? Brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. Okay. I did. Some of them are passed now. Mm-hmm. I'm the oldest of 17.
17 total?
Total.
Okay.
Some I did, I told you.
Okay.
Okay. 17.
Okay.
Yeah. I gotta start counting. I have 3 of my own. My husband is deceased too.
Mm-hmm. And what are your children's names?
Cynthia. She's been married twice. She is Waters now, W-A-T-E-R-S. I just, about maybe 2 months ago, probably less than 2 months, my oldest son just passed. He was 40, no, he was 59. See, I gotta really think. Mm-hmm. My daughter is the oldest. She will be 61 April 9th. And my baby he is all of them are grown. He is 50.
Well, what's his name?
Michael.
Okay.
Michael Anthony Johnson.
I'm sorry for your loss as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What part of Middlesex County did you grow up in?
Middlesex.
Middlesex proper?
Middlesex.
Just no particular place in the county?
Middlesex, the same address that I gave you.
Oh. Uh-huh. Okay. Locust Hill is where you grew up. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Went to school at St. Clair Walker. I gotta turn around and look and see where it is now. Right in this area.
And what years did you go to St. Clair Walker? Just an estimate is fine.
Back in the 60s.
In the 60s?
50s and 60s.
Perfect. Mm-hmm. Well, what year did you graduate?
62.
Okay, perfect. And what are your earliest memories of St. Clair Walker?
What?
What are your earliest memories of St. Clair Walker?
Sports. I love sports. Y'all have a picture of me. Because Stuart just showed it to me. I said, what? How you know? He hadn't been here that long, you know. He finds everything.
You're referring to Tyler?
Huh?
You're referring to Tyler, the gentleman that you're speaking of?
Oh, that's Stuart.
Oh.
I mean, he's the minister here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
I call him Stuart.
Okay.
I probably could be his mother. Not really, she's older than me. I've been here a long time. I worked over in the kitchen over there, where the boys are there. I was here when there was only boys.
Christchurch School you're referring to?
Yeah, only boys, and they were white boys. And then I remember I was working in the kitchen there. And then I remember when they started accepting girls. I was still here. I was working 2 and 3 jobs. Don't ask me how I did it, because I don't know. And then I went to the nursing home in Saluda, Riverside. And then I was from there here, back and forth. So I've been around.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned sports at St. Clair Walker. Did you play?
Yes, I did.
What did you play?
I played softball. Played with the boys sometime too, but I wasn't supposed to. I played softball. I was only supposed to be playing with the girls, you know. And then I played basketball. And that's the picture that you probably saw of me when with the other team, girls. And that was St. Clair Walker. And you know, in that day, we had a lot of sports that we played in. I was a tomboy. I was a tomboy.
What was the coach like?
I had my first coach up here in high school was, she was a black lady from, I can't remember now where she was from, real tall. And then there was the one that I really remember good and liked a lot was Mrs. Green. She was my white coach in basketball.
Was this at Middlesex High?
No. I never went to Middlesex High. I was always in the integrated school, in the black school.
Oh.
We didn't have it like it is now. It wasn't like it is now at all. We had white teachers at the last go round of my junior, senior year. And so we had a mixture of teachers, but we did not have a mixture of students. You know, when we got to mix, my children were in school then when they were mixed. Now my great-grandchildren are mixed. They don't know anything about me, you know. Only, I used to work for a lot of people from here. A lot of them are gone, a lot of them are deceased now. And when the people come in now, they'll say, Miss Ellie, how long you been here? And I've been over in the school part over there, Christchurch. I've been over there 30 years or more. I can't remember all that, but and I never left the county because when I grew up and got married and whatnot, my parents needed me to help them. So that's what I did, being the oldest child.
Absolutely. So did you have siblings that went to St. Clair Walker while you were there?
Did I have what?
Brothers and sisters who went to St. Clair Walker?
A lot of my brothers and sisters went to the same school I did, and they went to all blacks. I can remember having one brother when they integrated that spring and said we would be combined then because they passed that bill, you know, to integrate. And he told Mama he wasn't going to school. She said, where you planning on sleeping tonight? He said, upstairs in that room where I've been sleeping. She said, not if you're not going to school. If you're not going to school, we're not taking care of you. So he went to school, because he needed them to take care of him. But I can't even remember who was the last sister or brother that went to. My sister that went to, I know one of them that went to when they integrated, she passed first of the year, this year.
No, I'm so sorry.
I have had sisters and brothers that passed like mad. But then some of them just went to the all black school like I did.
Which siblings went to St. Clair Walker?
Which ones?
What were their names?
Oh, my sister next to me named Mary. I have a brother, he's deceased now too. He deceased last year, named John. My only had one military brother, Robert. He passed. He just passed. Yeah, he passed this year, 2023. Then I had another brother to pass. He went to the mixed school, Calvin. I'm trying to think now.
Which was the brother that spoke to your mother about integration?
Oh, he's still living. And he named Bernard.
Bernard? How was school talked about at home, generally, between your parents and your brothers and sisters and you?
A lot of them wanted to go, then some of them didn't. Like it is, just like now, I'm more out with the mixture than a lot of my sisters and brothers still. You know, I guess it's because, one reason I look at it is because the sisters and brothers, they're not accepting it. And I have worked for a lot of people. I'm into catering, and I have personal, you know, and you accept. And I have worked and I'm still working for a lot of white folks, a lot of real nice people. You run into bad people sometimes. You run into them with black and white. And I know how to accept. And see, some of my sisters and brothers don't know how to accept. And a lot of these people that are here now, like Stuart, he's trying to get my church to mix. And the ones, some of my sisters and brothers, I have done everything I can. I have invited him to come and go with me, but then some of them they don't accept. I'm going to talk with Stuart now, not today, when I have a chance and he's not busy. And because I invited him to a birthday party that is so many of us, you know, my mama had about 4 or 5 children and had birthdays in February, and I took him there. And I don't like the way that some of them treated him. Now that's me. And then my sisters and brothers will tell me, some of them, not all of them now, they'll say, anyway, you like him. I have no reason not to like him. I don't want to hate people. I said, where am I going to when I die? I don't want to, you know, I just don't like that phrase, you know. But it's life. What can I do about it? But Stuart seemed not to. Well, maybe he's putting on a front for me. I don't know. But, you know, and anything that I ask him, if I was in trouble right now and I asked him to do me a favor or something, he'd be the first to do it. And I mean, I look at people from a different standpoint of life. If I ask you, you know I must be desperate. And then, you know, I should know how to treat you.
We've talked a little bit about integration How aware were you of what was going on nationally and regionally when you were a child regarding the movement or integration?
Well, I don't know a lot about it back then like I do now, and learning more every day, but I'm able to deal with it. If I don't like certain things, well, the opposite race have the same right not to like it too, you know. Am I answering the way you want me to? But I have a lot of clients, and I raise my family to help them, you know.
How did St. Clair Walker, your experience there, affect your career afterward, or your values after you graduated?
What you mean by that now?
What did you learn at St. Clair Walker that affected how you began your career in catering and in food service and things like that?
I didn't have a problem with her. They, like I'm saying, they treated me nice. They still do. Well, you know. And then you have some people that come in. I just been one of them blessed ones. That's what I consider myself. I am really totally blessed. People come in, I like Stuart, haven't been here that long. And he comes in, and I think the first time he looked at me and I was introduced to him, he was just another man. That's, you know, it wasn't no big deal with me. But just being here like a month or so, I kept looking and watching and things that he say and things that I suggest. And then he started introducing me to people that came in and got jobs and whatnot. I said, this man's not bad at all. You know, you can look at him, you know, you can tell, I can tell. And I started telling my race, and then I started telling some of the other races I like him. You know, because of the way he treats you, you know. But then you got some of them that don't treat you. Then you gotta deal with them in a different manner. I got a man here now that he can't stand me. And I still, you know, I do everything I can. I answer him nicely. And sometimes I go home and I say, oh, you know, you gotta get all this out of you. And just because you're ugly, I can't be ugly because you're ugly, you know.
Did you have role models at St. Clair Walker that influenced you in your years afterward?
Well, yeah, some of them. I mean, I'm thinking about the good ones now. They gone. Mm-hmm. That, say, you know, that person likes you. He thinks a lot of you. I had Stuart to say to Pat Wednesday when I was up here. I call her Pat. She's a relative too. And he said, I don't know what I'd do without Ellen. Now that's a compliment to me. You know, he didn't hide it one way or the other. He just out and said it. Now, a lot of people will say, I like Ellen, but I'm not going to say it in front of you with her standing there. I don't have that problem. So.
You mentioned the good ones at St. Clair Walker. Were there teachers that stick out to you?
Some of them.
Like who? Or just even subjects or...
Well, there you got Miss Kidd in there right now. Mm-hmm. That's another one. And then she had a sister, there are two sisters-in-law, but the other one is dead. And they, you know, they grew up. They're younger than my parents were, but you know. But if I needed a recommendation or thing, the first ones I would call. If I wanted somebody black. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did Mrs. I did that Miss Kid. I know I did her oldest daughter's wedding. I might have done both of them. I have done so many things, I just can't remember, you know.
Ms. Kidd taught you in, oh, no.
They didn't teach me.
Okay.
Oh, but I had dealings with them because I have kids. And the other Miss Kidd used to, when I was working and I went off from school, off from my job at the nursing home, she took my granddaughter, my great-granddaughter, home with her and keep her until I got off from work. And we live on the same road now. And then I would pick up from her house. Trustworthy, I call it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But my dad went to, I think he was a little bit older than the first one, Miss Kidd.
Did your father go to St. Clair Walker too? No.
Built there.
Okay. Okay. Do you remember Cook's Corner at all?
Yeah.
What do you remember about it?
Well, we weren't allowed to go there because they sold beer. I had strict parents, especially mother, and especially mother. And her family was strict, you know. Certain places weren't for girls. But when we come along, it weren't for boys or girls. Yep. Well, I knew you set up there. And you go up road, your parents were driving, we had no vehicles then, and you keep straight. You didn't hardly look over there.
Do you remember the baseball field?
Yes, I do.
You didn't spend time there?
Not until I was married, and then I didn't make it a habit.
Once you were married, did you go there, or out of your parents' house, did you go there?
Not that often.
No.
Depends on who was playing. And I had a lot of cousins and whatnot. Then if you went, you stayed in the car. You know how children grow up, their brothers and sisters or cousins. See, I come in a large family. Mm-hmm.
Once you were an adult, did you go to any of the businesses at Cook's Corner? No? Okay. After you, do you remember graduation from St. Clair Walker?
Yeah, it was a big thing then because there wasn't too much big stuff going on, especially for black kids. You know.
What do you remember about it?
You know, you look forward to that. You knew you were going to what you call kind of dress up. You liked all that part of it. When I really started going to music high, my children and sisters, younger sisters and brothers, were graduating. And if you become a mother, like I was then, and you look forward to it, that was a big thing for you being a mother, and you having your daughter or son graduate. So it's a big difference. It's just, it takes a lot. But you gotta know how to accept these things. So, but I always, and like if I'm working for somebody, and the person lose their mother or father that you're working for, the people you're working for want you to come. So I would drive my car to that person I work for house, and whoever died, you get in their car and go to their house, park your car, and get in their car. And like when I used to come here to go to church out here, the first time I went in that church, the lady I went to, her husband died. And so when they stood up, I stood up. When they got on their knees, I got on my knees. See, like now, it wouldn't help me with this knee. I can't stoop down on my knee. And it's just, you know, these are the things that we didn't do in the black churches next door to it, this one. So if I had my operation, this I could kneel and do. But now I can't kneel down. It hurts me if I put that weight down on his knee. So when I told him, I said, I cannot kneel. He said, you don't have to kneel, stand up. And I'm still standing up.
Was the church important to your family growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Which church was yours?
Right next door to this one, right there, Calvary.
How were they supportive of you growing up?
Well, my daddy's father was a deacon there. And so always born and raised in the church, so that's without that, I wouldn't know how I'd make it.
Did they support your education at all, or your siblings' education, or the schools in general?
Yeah.
How so?
My parents used to have to walk to the school for the meetings and stuff like that, PTA. You heard of that? Okay. But, then you had PTA meetings at the school. But see, we didn't have just the high schools like we got now. So they had to walk. Some of the people had cars, others didn't. They walked to the meetings and stuff at night. And so,
how does the church enter that? Like you had mentioned that the church supported this in some way. No?
What do you mean, some way?
Well, I asked how the church supported your education, and then you said that folks had to walk to the PTA meeting at the church, or?
No, at the schools.
Okay.
When I come along. And your parents go to see how you're doing with your grades and your subjects and whatnot, just like we do now.
Were you involved in other activities at school?
I told you sports was my main thing.
Okay.
And I can remember when I was in elementary school, the first day of May was always May Day. And they made these costumes. And I told you I was a tomboy. I was a tomboy. And I loved all that kind of, A mama used to say, you don't think the school can run without you. Parents didn't look at you just because you might be good or gifted in this. You got to give the other children a chance to. They can get up and come out there like I do. I just was a tomboy. Being the oldest and didn't have boys, And I guess I'm that same way now.
What else can you tell me about May Day? You mentioned costumes.
Yeah, they made paper costumes.
What did they look like?
They were in different colors. They were in different, made out of paper. See those little things up there?
Mm-hmm. Tissue paper.
Yeah, but it was a little fragile than that. But you had to be careful with them. And the teachers used to hold on by me in my hands and stuff to make sure that the wind don't get on. You know how May can be. But it was fun. You won't wear it but one time, though. So I enjoyed it.
What else did you do on May Day?
Whatever we had practice or had, that's what we did.
Like what would you practice?
Well, you had to wrap the maypole. You had a big pole. I guess the men that was teachers and your parents, and they made these maypoles and grandparents and whatnot. And you wrapped the maypole, and you wrap it was pretty. I don't think Stuart got that. I'll go ask him if he get a maypole. And so it was one of them things. Mm-hmm. It was fun.
Do you remember any other celebrations or examinations, like exams at the end of the year or anything like that?
We had exams. It's a lot of things that the teachers did then. It's a different doing now from what they did when I come along. And it was fun. We had teachers that really were concerned about your doings and whatnot. But see, we had all these old teachers. You had the same one in Sunday schools on Sunday morning. My grandfather being a deacon, on Sunday evening after you come from church and you had dinner, you clean up the dishes and stuff. Then he would take us to his room and set us in the floor, and we had to read the Bible. And he was getting old, so eyesight was getting bad. And I never forget it. I can't find the Bible that he had. I guess some of my cousins or somebody probably got it. And he would say, here. And he could tell me where to find Genesis, Samuel, or wherever. And he had already memorized all this stuff in his mind. And that's how come you learn a lot of stuff from them. So, that's where I got a lot of my schooling from as far as the Bible is concerned.
Were there other things that you learned from your grandparents?
Well, mostly everything that they did. Well, my grandmother, she lost her mind, so she wasn't a lot of help to me. And she was in a home for a long time. But before she died, she came and lived with my parents. And so it wasn't a lot that she remembered, But my grandfather, he lived to be in his around 87. And he was a lot of help to me, because I was the oldest. Yeah, I can remember when we bought stamps from the post office for 3 cents. Do you remember that?
No.
3 cents. Do you remember? Yeah, 3 cents. And my grandfather would send me to the post office. This place is still sitting down in there. I come out by it every day. And he would have a piece of brown paper, like a paper bag he done tore up. And he would have it just small enough for those 3 pennies to go in. And he would roll it, and it took the woman at the postmaster at the store, would take her half a day, I used to say, to send a letter from here to New Jersey to my aunts, his children, that was living away. And he said, I know your grandfather wrapped this up here, and I made it going to school in the morning because he didn't want me to lose it. And it was the cutest little thing. And then they went all this modern stuff like we got now. And we started moving up with all this different stuff that I didn't really appreciate it. I had to really get old to appreciate that. I just, you really gonna lose that 3 cents. I can remember. And look at what we pay for posters now.
Mm-hmm. How else was your grandfather helpful to you?
In everything. When I had to go out on the wood pile with my dad and help bring in the wood after he cut it, he would go out and help me. Like grandparents do. I do all that kind of stuff now. I told my mom and dad one day, and I think I was like 15, 16, I'll be glad when I get 21. She said, you're going to be sorry I plenty too. And I have seen that, Jesus. Yes, I have. Because, in the evening when you come from school, you get a snack, and then you go out before it gets dark and help your mother or father. And by the time my father got home from work, it was dark. And so, but it was a good experience for me because my marriage didn't last. And I needed that experience. I said, I didn't want to see a horse or a cow. And I'm going to tell you this, I'm going to work then. Oh, my mother and father got married. My mother's family, which was her mother and father, gave her a cow. And my daddy, that grandmother I didn't see at all because I wasn't born. He wasn't married. And my grandfather gave my daddy a horse. So that was for them to have work and milk and whatnot, raise a garden and stuff for when he got married. So all that's good for me now. I can really appreciate it. You know, I'm not going to have a cow and a horse.
How did you manage as a mother?
How did I? Well, I stayed with my parents after divorce until I was able to get a home. And I got a home. And I took care of my kids. So that's what, you know, and so it was, I had to have some means of knowing how to survive. Otherwise, I don't know where my kids would be. And a lot of times now people tell me, because I had a cousin to come to see me Sunday evening. And he said to me, he said, I've been by here 3 times, and I cannot catch you at home. I said, why? What's wrong? I thought something was seriously wrong. And he say, I just stopped to see you. And I heard you had lost your son. I said, yeah. I said, but you know, that's life. And he said, yeah. He said, well, every time I come to see you work, you know where I was up here. But it was not too many. I was in my class still living. But I mean, I look at all these things, it's good for me. And sometimes I say to myself, Lord, why do you still have me here? You know?
Well, do you have anything else that you want to add for the record? No? Okay.
I done told you everything.
Okay.
That's all I can remember.
Well, that's a good job done then. Thank you, ma'am. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. All right. Thank you.
Welcome.